Some companies have made accusations that large-scale IT implementations have failed to deliver on promises made by IT evangelists. Earlier this evening, Joanne Ruert spoke to Robert Sussman, Director of Integr8 IT, to find out more.
Basically, Joe, I think it comes down to one particular factor, and that is cost. When you look at businesses and the way business have been operating, they're very sensitive to the bottom line and the bottom line figures. Essentially, I believe customers and businesses are tired of spending money on IT or IT products and not realizing the specific business benefit that they may get from those products. Also, from that perspective, companies are also tired of throwing product at business-related and core business issues, whereas what they should be throwing at their issues is actually more IT solutions rather than product.
Do you think that lots of companies were actually conned into buying wrong solutions?
To say conned is an interesting way of putting it. The way that we would think of it is more the alignment between the IT directors and the financial directors and CEO and so on and so forth. If you look at the specifics and the general business rules, companies trying to use IT to maximize their business benefit is the way that they actually should be going, rather than trying to look and formulate the business strategy and the IT strategy to focus on their core competencies.
But what's wrong with just slapping on technology, which your company obviously needs, on existing solutions? Why can't you just do that?
I believe that companies are tired of purchasing product, whereas now they're looking for a solution that will focus on the core business or the core business values. What one also needs to be careful of is not trying to buy product, but rather looking towards trusted advisors or companies like trusted advisors that can sell product as a byproduct of their particular business.
But don't you also think that companies are to blame because they don't hire the right people to actually work the solutions properly?
A skill shortage is definitely out there in the market. Often I do believe companies are to blame with regards to the fact that they are too sensitive to the outsource or the IT outsource factor and focus a lot more on their cost saving. What they should be looking at doing is redirecting their IT spend to the core requirements and the workflow of the actual business as opposed to the nice to haves.
Do you think that companies are cutting back on IT spend?
As I say, once again, the way that we've actually found it, specifically Integr8 IT, have found that companies are more redirecting the IT spend towards making their businesses run better as opposed to the nice to haves.
So do you think that this is going to get ugly? Do you think that you're going to have companies that will actually sue IT companies because they haven't delivered on the promises that were made?
I do believe in the past that service level agreements that have been put in place haven't been met by all IT companies, and a lot of the blame is to be put, I think, on both the financial side as well as the IT side. And when I say that, is both the IT director and the financial director are essentially not playing the same round of golf as such. They need to make sure that what they're trying to get from their business, they both thinking along the same common grounds.
Do you think that lots of companies actually take a look at their company and they go, okay, fine, we need technology, but the process actually needs to be addressed? Do they actually realize that that's the key issue here?
Yes, I do believe strongly that companies need to look at their business framework. They need to look at the workflow within that particular business, and they need to apply the IT strategy to that particular framework. What you often find is that you've got the IT director with his idea of what IT can do for the business, and you've got the FD that he's got his idea with what he would like to get from the IT spend as such. And if these two aren't thinking along the same common grounds, that's basically what will happen.
So where's the future of the IT war going, do you see?
The future of the IT war, I'll say businesses and commercial businesses becoming more IT aware, looking past the general nice to haves as such, and I find them generally focusing their IT spend more on the core competencies of what their businesses require.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks.
Tonight, the competitive economy looks into the outlook for the IT industry for the near future. Companies have made accusations that large-scale IT implementations have failed to deliver on promises made by IT evangelists. Earlier this evening, Joanne Ruert spoke to Robert Sussman, Director of Integr8 IT, to find out more.
Basically, Joe, I think it comes down to one particular factor, and that is cost.